Our Collision 2018 coverage is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. Find out all the ways you can benefit from a Prime subscription and get a 30-day free trial by going to collision.live/prime and by audiobooks.com. Get a free trial and a free audiobook to keep at audiobooks.com using promo code TRY70. Our next guest is here. Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Fantastic. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Long day.
Yo, absolutely. And it's just day one.
Right, I know.
Go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
All right, I'm Chris. I'm a co-founder of Nehbur. We're a community sharing platform that puts items in the hands of people who need them from people who have them. We try to bring the neighborhood back together through the use of things that may be collecting dust in your garage that somebody else could use while you're not using them. So that's us in a nutshell.
Okay.
Say
So is this a sales platform? Is it a rental platform?
Rental
is it a
platform.
both?
Well, so we led it initially as a rental platform.
Okay.
The way that we've structured it now is almost three-tiered. So we have a rental component, we have a barter component, and then a sell feature as well. So if you do want to really get rid of it, that's fine. And between neighbors, if maybe that person has something in their garage, what we're calling it, that you want, then maybe you guys can enter into a bartered exchange, or you can rent the item just one-off and get it back to them before the calendar expires.
Say what?
So this is
I have
your
a
excitement.
lawnmower.
this is one of the companies we teased yesterday on the show.
So I have a lawnmower in my garage, collecting dust because I don't have a lawn anymore. I download the app.
Yep.
Put up there, hey, got a lawnmower. If you guys want to rent it, here's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And then a guy says, I'll rent it for X amount of whatever. He rents it for a little while, brings it back to me, and then I notice that he's got a moped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, you don't ever use this moped. Give it to me. You can have my lawnmower.
Sure.
And we just
Say what?
Yep.
This is amazing.
Yeah. This was one of the companies we teased on the show yesterday that we were going to talk to. We talked about the speakers.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm here. I'm back on board. This sounds awesome.
During the closing of our show yesterday, we talked about some of the companies we were going to talk to this week, and this was one of the ones that stuck out to me because obviously there have been barter systems.
Sure.
There have been local sales systems. You can go on Craigslist and do that if you want to make a dangerous new friend.
Yeah,
but
a dangerous new friend.
But there's not ever really been a great way to rent a thing that you have.
Right.
It's unbelievable that it's taken this long for somebody to grab the idea and go.
Oh, sure. I mean, there have been platforms that have tried this before. They were unsuccessful, but our belief is the reason for that is they didn't have the same sort of tiered system that we have. So we offer multiple alternatives. So there's, you have every justification to use our platform.
Right.
If you want to get rid of stuff, if you want to just see what somebody else in your neighborhood has, or if you want to just rent whatever's collecting dust, right? And they weren't really changing the experience from the traditional, big box rental exchange. So, lawnmowers from Home Depot. You're going in, you're putting down a deposit, you're standing in a line, and there's just a lot of added elements to the exchange. And we've taken that away and made it an extremely simple process for you to get the item that you're looking for. And we like to say it's within seconds. So
I like this.
Yeah, I've said a couple of times so far this week that there were only a couple of the companies that I sent invites to that stood out, and this was one of them.
We appreciate that.
Partially because it's a great idea, and partially because I made a horse noise when I realized how to pronounce the name on the phone with Michelle. So
anything to stick out.
That'll
right?
make it stick out too.
Anything to stick out.
But yeah, it really is a great idea. And so we started thinking, well, what like weird equipment do we have in the studio that we haven't used in a while? We've got these PA speakers that in their life, if they've gotten 35 hours of use, I'd be surprised. And they're like it's probably $1,000 worth of speakers,
Right.
and they've had 35 hours worth
Right.
of use, maybe.
Wow.
So we're thinking, well, maybe we could list those up there, and maybe finally get a return on the ridiculous investment on those speakers.
And kind of piggybacking off of that, I was using one of the classifieds apps, just kind of browsing to see what people had for sale.
Sure.
And I noticed an electronic drum set that at retail goes for about $1,400. And I'm a drummer in a past life. So I was geeking out over these drums, and they were for sale on this platform for $100.
Whoa.
And I was mind blown. I messaged the person. I said, is there something wrong with them? And she said blatantly, no, I just need to make rent. So I started thinking more and more, well, you know, if there was the ability for you to rent it for $100 for a night to somebody who's in town for a gig or somebody who's recording for a day, and you rent it over and over again, maybe you recoup that $1,400 and you're making rent just by renting your drum set, right?
And get to use it when you want to.
Exactly. You don't have to, I mean, because I looked at that drum set, I said, I've been looking for a bargain price on these things for a long time. And, you know, I didn't end up buying them. I didn't feel right buying them for $100.
Right?
Yeah.
So
That's, I couldn't have either.
Right.
I'd have felt bad
Yeah.
forever. I don't know that I could have used them.
right, exactly. So that amongst other, you know, situations that my brother and I, who's my co-founder, we found ourselves in, one where there was an ice storm and we couldn't find any way of getting a chainsaw. Home Depot took full advantage of that and, you know, upped the price because of supply and demand, right?
Sure,
so camping trips where canoes cost over $1,000 to rent when people with cottages have them next door to where you're casting off, right? So we knew there had to be a better way, and that's where this was kind of born.
Michelle in the control room is saying computer monitors.
Absolutely.
Because these are a pain.
To come to Collision,
Yeah.
we didn't
Absolutely.
have monitors.
And
to rent them,
Is more than to buy them.
Yep.
a
So
lot
we
more.
actually-
You can literally, from a rental house, the price to rent basically these monitors was almost double. And at this point, you buy them, you could just give them to somebody before you leave.
Right.
And you've saved half the price.
Exactly. So it's funny.
Which is insane.
It is. It is.
But
And-
somebody has, like us back at the studio, somebody has a bunch of extra monitors, way too many. You could rent them
Absolutely.
for way less than the cost of buying one.
I need this app. Before he leaves, I need this app on my
Yeah.
phone.
Well,
Talk
the-
to my co-founder. He'll set you right up.
I say the spelling is right there on his hat.
Is the app on the market now?
Not yet. So we're in development right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We had to do a little bit of tinkering, just one with the simplicity of the platform. We
Right.
really wanted to drive that home. Obviously, continuous testing in different markets and whatnot. So it's in development right now.
Okay.
We're expecting, ideally, between 60 and 90 days from now, we'll be live. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's funny that you mentioned the monitors. We are exhibiting tomorrow, and we actually
We're in the same boat.
We neighbored the television that's going to be showing our app demo. So we rented through a classified platform.
Okay.
It was for sale, and we said we just need it for a day. Could we rent it for X amount of dollars? Sure. So it was kind of an indirect proof of concept again for us. So
Oh, that's funny.
yeah.
That would have been great. I had not.
I wish
did
we
not
had thought of
even
that.
think of that. Oh,
So you guys are still
idea.
working out some logistics.
Yes.
When are you looking for a release? What are we
We're
looking at?
ideally between 60 and 90 days is when we'll be both on the App Store and on Google Play.
You just made his day.
There've been so
Collision
many
is
things.
very iPhone-y.
Yes.
Collision is way too iPhone-y.
Yes.
So hearing Google Play makes me happy.
Well, I'm glad I made your day.
So like 60 to 90 days
Yep.
we're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And is that for like a beta, or is that for you want it in people's hands?
It's for beta.
Okay.
We're going to make it, and we haven't decided how broad of a brush we're going to paint the rollout or deployment yet. We have a lot of communities that are genuinely interested in this from the
Sure.
neighborly perspective. So we're incorporating, I guess you could call it a B2B and a B2C marketing deployment or marketing campaigns for it. one, obviously, on a mass scale to anybody, just like your let goes do or your offer ups, and then more intricate and exclusive when it comes to people that live on the same street or within the same subdivision. So
Gotcha.
we've got kind of two verticals in terms of our marketing that we're rolling out, and we have to decide quick which one we're going to deploy first, or if we're just going to roll with both. So
fair enough. Well, if you need anybody to test it, you're welcome to
absolutely
test flight to the email address that I contacted you from.
Absolutely.
Steven has my card.
Will.
I'm willing to test.
Perfect.
that is my test flight account
too. That's great.
So you're welcome.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a great idea that would have, just like for you, would have come in handy yesterday.
Right. No, we hear you, and I mean it's been something that we've pondered for a while. We just didn't know how to find the legs for it, and then finally just said, hey, we have entrepreneurial bones in our body. We're just gonna stumble through.
Okay.
By entrepreneurial bones, we mean they're tough, right? So you can take your lumps along the way.
You have to.
Right. So we said enough of this analysis paralysis. Let's get going. So we've been kind of going all out since then.
All right, that might be my takeaway term from Collision 2018. Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, good one. It's pretty solid.
Collectivism was 2017, I think.
I like that too, actually. I'm going to use that one. You guys can use ours.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
That came from Ultimatum, who's exhibiting on Thursday.
Oh, awesome.
I got that from them last year. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there's always that problem, that when do we go from is this a thing to let's make this a thing?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
having built several products, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Sat on a domain for 4 or 5 years doing nothing with it. And
no, it's a process. I mean, especially if you're a first-time founder. I mean, you got to muster up the courage to just take the leap. And sometimes, it's easier said than done, right? So when it comes to the cliff and you're like, I don't have a parachute, well, you better learn how to build one on the way down, right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of where we found ourselves. And, we saw the issue. We saw the problem, and we knew we could provide the solution. It was just a matter of executing. And now we're in that execution, and we're excited. It's an exciting time.
It's a great idea.
We appreciate that.
And obviously something that is not limited to just you and I, right?
Right.
We've never met, and we both yesterday could have used this.
Right.
That's a pretty good indication that it's something that's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's plenty of people like that. Here alone.
Just in this building today, you could have launched New Orleans this week.
Right. We have to get on our developers and say, hey.
Just the need of the people in this building this week.
Absolutely. So, it's exciting to know that there's the market need, and we believe we have the solution. Within 60 to 90 days, we'll know one way or another if it is. So, it's exciting though. It really is.
For sure.
Well,
obviously we like the idea. We're both all of us are very excited about this. And my guess is our viewers will be too. If they want to find out more about what you're doing and follow your journey, how can they do that?
So you can go to www.nehbur.com, and Nehbur is spelled like this, Nehbur. Kind of a play on words of us being Canadian, A with the EH, and but we are deploying in the States. So so you can go to nehbur.com. You can pre-register, and we'll start sending some updates here in the coming days and weeks, getting everybody kind of geared up towards when we're going to roll out. So
it's awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. I wish we were deployed already so we could help you with the monitors.
You and me both.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Take care, guys.
Enjoy the rest of the Collision.
Thank you.
it.